Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD's time to English New Edition. For tonight's headlines, we have the President of the Republic meets with the head of the Yemeni diplomacy. For the international scene, UN estimates 10 million people have fled their homes in Ukraine. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, received this Monday late morning at the Palace of the Republic the Yemeni Minister of Foreign Affairs and expatriate Dr. Ahmed Awad bin Mubarak on a working visit to Djibouti within the framework of the holding from 20 to 22 March 2022 of the sixth sessions of the Yemeni Joint Ministerial Committee. The audience between President Guelleh and the head of the Yemeni diplomacy served as a framework for the evocations of the state of the relations of brotherhood, friendship, and cooperation between the two countries and the two brotherly peoples. With the ancient link woven by the thread of history, culture, and geographical proximity. The discussions then focused on the evolutions of the political situation in Yemen, the scene for several years of fratricidal conflict, the legally established authorities of this country and rebel forces during his meeting with the head of state. The Yemeni Foreign Affairs was accompanied by a high-level delegations of his country, including the Deputy Ministers of Planning and International Cooperation, Dr. Nizar Bashib, and the Ambassador of the Republic of Yemen to the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Abdallah Musallam Qasim al-Suqatri, also took part in this audience on the Djiboutian side, in addition to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the Ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti to the Republic of Yemen, His Excellency Muhammad Ali Isa, took part in this event. The Yemeni Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Ahmed Awad bin Mubarak, expressed his pleasure to meet with the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, and handed him a written message from his Yemeni counterpart, President Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi. We have discussed several topics that concern the bilateral relations that exist between the two countries and the ways to enhance the cooperation between Djibouti and Yemen. We also discussed the sixth sessions of the Djibouti-Yemen Joint Ministerial Committee, which was held yesterday, and the positive impact of this meeting on the relationship and the cooperation between Djibouti and Yemen. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, has indicated that the visit of the Yemeni Minister of Foreign Affairs comes within the framework of the sixth sessions of the Djibouti-Yemeni Joint Ministerial Committee, during which we signed several agreements protocol. Today the minister met with the president, and during the meeting the Yemeni ministers gave the president a message from his counterpart, Yemeni president. This meeting is an essential step to enhance the privileged relations between Djibouti and Yemen. Djibouti always supports the constitutional legitimacy of the government of Yemeni President Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi, and we will work closely to consolidate the ties and cooperation between the two countries. The Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed decorated this morning with the medals of officers of the National Orders of 27 June, the Palestinian ambassador and dean of the diplomatic corps in Djibouti, Kamal Abdallah Ghazaza. The Prime Minister praised the noble services that the Palestinian ambassador has performed in Djibouti since his arrival. For his part, the Palestinian ambassador thanked the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed and said he was very honored to have been decorated by the Djiboutian government in recognition. And then the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed received yesterday afternoon strong delegations led by the President of the International Swimming Federation, the Kuwaiti Hussein Al-Musallam, accompanied by the President of the African Confederation, that of the zone of the Executive Directors of the FINA, and the two Olympic champions. This strong delegation was introduced to the primacy by the Secretary of State for Sports, Hassan Mohammed Kamil, and officials of his department. After the warm welcome, the discussion focused on the commendable achievement of the Djiboutian Swimming Federations in recent years and the prospect of organizing an international event on Djiboutian territory. The president of the International Swimming Federation, the Kuwaiti Hussein Al Musallam, was pleased with the reception of the Prime Minister and especially the visit to Djibouti. The president of the Olympic Committee, Asha Grad, took part in this interview. The State Secretary on Sports, Hassan Mohammed Kamil, has received a strong delegations led by the president of the International Swimming Federation, the Kuwaiti Hussein Al Musallam, accompanied by the president of the African Confederation, that of the zone, and executive directors of the FINA, and 2 Olympic champions. These strong delegations, after the warm welcome, the discussion is focused on the commendable achievement of the Djiboutian Swimming Federation in recent years and the prospect of organizing international event on Djiboutian territory. The president of the Swimming Federation, the Kuwaiti Hussein Al Musallam, was pleased with the receptions of the Minister of Sport and especially the visit to Djibouti. The president of the Olympic Committee, Aisha Garad Ali, took part in this interview. Of the Republic of Djibouti in Addis Ababa organized on Sunday a reception for the elected and re-elected and ongoing members of the Peace and Security Councils of the African Union. The ceremony took place in our representations in Ethiopian capital. It is in the early evening that the African diplomat and the partners country began to flock to the embassy of Djibouti, where they were received one by one by Ambassador Abdi Mahmoud Heibe, a welcome in compliance with the rules of protocols observed in such events of capital importance. Our country, through its embassy, has become, during more than 2 hours that the ceremony lasted, the point of convergence of 100 diplomats and the epicenter of African diplomacy. The Republic of Djibouti was re-elected on February 2 for a third consecutive time to the Peace and Security Councils of the African Union, which is a first.
As always, as my team, knowing fully well that Djibouti continues to play a very, very substantive role in building peace, in making peace, and indeed enforcing peace. Djibouti has been with us in AMISOM. It's going to be with us in ATMIS, the new AU transition mission for Somalia, and we believe they will do more in guaranteeing and promoting and safeguarding our rights, our peace efforts, and of course, Agenda 2063 aspirations. I welcome our members, the new members of the Council, and the re-elected ones into the world of reality. It is now time to wake up, stand firm, work together, collectively protect the architecture of African peace and security, protect our aspirations for a peaceful, a more democratic, and a more secure continent, and a continent that still will respect the rights, fundamental freedoms and rights of every African. We have to re-energize mediation, early warning, and conflict prevention. The more we prevent conflict, the more we will spend less of the resources, and our partners will also be assisting us more on sustainable development rather than making peace.
The ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti in Addis Ababa, Mahmoud Heibe, and permanent representative of the African Union and the ECA intervened during the ceremony, emphasizing in particular the commitment of each country and the PCS in general to preserve in the search for peaceful solutions so that peace and prosperity reign in Africa. Listen to him.
D'emblée, permettez-moi de dire quelques mots en français, comme nous sommes dans la semaine de la francophonie, en vous souhaitant la bienvenue à l'ambassade de la République de Djibouti pour cette réception organisée en l'honneur des membres élus, réélus et sortants du Conseil de paix et de sécurité de l'Union africaine. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, let me to take this opportunity to thank you all for accepting joining us and wish you a warm welcome to the Embassy of the Republic of Djibouti. The Republic of Djibouti is delighted of its continued membership to the Peace and Security Council of the African Union. The PSC is a core structure of the AU and strategic decision-making body in matters of prevention, management, and settlement of conflicts within the African Union. Its role is more than ever critical with the fast-changing context in the continent. The Republic of Djibouti, a friend of many, foe of none, remains committed to the peace and stability of the Horn of Africa, of the continent, and beyond. In this regard, Djibouti's permanent mission to the African Union will spare no efforts through its government led by His Excellency President Ismail Omar Guelleh in working in close collaboration with the African Union Commission and its member states for an integrated, prosperous and peaceful Africa, the Africa we want. Excellencies, dear colleagues, distinguished guests, I can't stress this point enough, but our continent is facing multiple emerging security threats as anti-constitutional change of government, terrorism, violent extremism, inequalities, etc., which require all our attention.
The Minister of Muslim Affairs takes part in the Doha Conference on Islamic Finance. On the sidelines of his working visit to Doha, the Minister of Muslim Affairs and Waqf, Mumin Hassan Barre, took part in the opening ceremony of the 8th Doha Conference on Islamic Finance, which was held at the Sheraton Hotel under the patronage of the Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Khalid bin Khalifa Al Thani. The theme chosen for this edition revolves around the financial technology in the digital age. The Minister Mumin Hassan Barre was accompanied by his Qatari counterpart Ghanim bin Shaheen Al Ghanim and our ambassador in Doha, Daib Dubad Roble. The conference focused on the rapid development of the Islamic finance sector. The scientific proceedings were conducted by a group of experts and specialists in financial technology in partnership with the Faculty of Sharia and Islamic Studies at Qatar University and the Faculty of Islamic Studies at Hamad bin Khalifa University. This international conference addresses, among other things, the decentralized digital finance technology and the challenges faced by the central banks of the state and the role of the supervisory institutions in the rapid evolutions of the financial technology. The speakers also discussed of the positions of the Islamic financial industry in the faces of the latest development and the needs for Islamic financial institutions to adopt appropriate mechanisms to exploit the beneficial aspects of this technological and financial evolution worldwide. As part of the Reading Week, components 2 of the DIGRA project program, the UNFD, in collaboration with the School of Balbala 9, and Balbala 9bis and Balbala 10 organized a reading challenge ceremony in the school of Balbala 9. This reading festival corresponds to school project carried by the APE and the CGE of the school of Balbala 9, Balbala 9bis and Balbala 10, and are in line with the objectives of the components of the program's project DIGRA, which aims to strengthen community participation in the teaching of reading. Were present at this ceremony Said Barakat, the inspectors of education, the coordinator of the literacy programs of UNFD, the pedagogical advisor is Abdullahi Abdi, and the pedagogical advisor preschool, the director of Balbala 9 school, Mr. Qasim Mohammed, the director of Balbala 10 school, Abdullahi Hassan, the director of Balbala 10 bis, Sadia Qayad, the teacher and parents associations. As part of the second editions of the National Agribusiness Exhibitions, which opened on Saturday, 19 March at the Esplanade of the People's Palace, the Center for Leadership and Entrepreneurship, CLE, organized a workshop of exchanges panel and discussions yesterday morning at the conference room of the People's Palace. This workshop was attended by several agricultural cooperatives in the regions and experts in several fields. Moreover, regarding the agricultural product at the national level, the panelists first discussed the importance of the concept of agribusiness, agri-entrepreneurship. To this effect, several points were raised to develop and better understand the concept of agribusiness, such as improving production, access to the market, and access to land. Indeed, after that, the discussions and panels discussions focused on access to financing for agricultural producers. In this regard, the role of the private sectors in the development of agribusiness. In this regard, the role of the state in access to financing for producers was mentioned at this discussions with fruitful exchanges took place with the strong participation of the agricultural cooperatives from the regions and of the interior. An important ceremony was held this Sunday, March 20, 2022, in the region of Dikhil to celebrate the International Day of Water. This ceremony was organized by the National Office of Water and Sanitation ONIAD of Djibouti under the theme Groundwater. The World Water Day is an opportunity for companies and enterprises in charge of the distributions of this precious liquid and wastewater management to highlight the progress made in these areas. Moreover, through these celebrations, the authorities of the region of Dikhil have shown their commitment to access to waters and sanitation in the Republic of Djibouti and want to show their involvement in the searches for solutions to make water and sanitation services available in our country. This ceremony, which took place in the primary school of Dikhil 1, saw the participation of the representative of the Director General of ONIAD, Khadija Ali Abdu, the responsible of the National Office of ONIAD stationed in Dikhil, Kadar Idris. Also represented at the ceremony were senior officials from the regions, including the Director of the Primary School of Dikhil, Ahmed Abane, the President of the Regional Council, Abdurrahman Yunus Arwe, the Prefect of the region, Adan Darar Musa. In his speech, the prefect of the region of Dikhil paid a vibrant tribute to the President of the Republic for his dynamic and enlightened policy, which advocates the valorizations, the emancipations of the women and the reinforcement of their places in the high spheres of the public decisions. He also took the opportunity to thank the First Lady for all the acts of generosity that she never ceases to perform in favor of women, especially for the most disadvantaged. The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, launched today at the Vocational Training Center of Temerjok a consultation workshop on the new perspectives of the fight against infectious disease that circulates the main and border spots of the Republic of Djibouti and Somaliland. This workshop brought together around the same table the health actors of the two border regions, the border regions of Arta and the region of Luada of Somaliland. This initiative will not only allow a better ownership of the response against infectious disease, including tuberculosis, but will also allow for better coordination and cooperation between the health authority of the two borders regions, such as health evacuation between the two sides and sharing of experience. The launching ceremony of the workshop was chaired by the sub-prefect of the Damerjog, Abdishakib Nur Yusuf, in the presence of Dr. Bashir Suleiman, Director of Infectious Disease Management of Somaliland, and the head of the health project of IGAD, Ahmed Hassan. In his speech, the sub-prefect of the Damerjog, Abdishakib Nur Yusuf, welcomed all participants of this workshop. The cooperation between Djibouti and Somaliland is fruitful and dates back a long time. Before declaring the official opening of the workshop, he called on all participants of this workshop to lay the foundation for cooperation in the fight against infectious diseases that cross borders and better coordination between health actors of the two countries. For the international scene, UN estimates 10 million people have fled their homes in Ukraine. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, estimates Sunday that 10 million people have fled the fighting in Ukraine since the launch of military operations by Russia in the countries. The UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, said that the same day that 89,000 Ukrainians have left the country since February 24. About 19% of those who have fled are believed to be women and children. Men between the age of 18 and 16 can be drafted into the armies and cannot leave. UNICEF, the UN Children's Agency, said that more than 1.5 million children are among those who have fled abroad, and warned that the risks of human trafficking and exploitation they face are real and growing. And to close up this edition, La Liga, Barça humiliates Real at the Bernabeu after 5 lost Clásicos in a row. Barça beats Real Madrid 4-0 on Sunday, March 20 March, for the 29th day of La Liga at the Bernabeu, and climbed to the third place in the standing, tied with the Atletico Madrid for 54 points. The Catalan took the leads in the first half thanks to the two perfect balls served by Ousmane Dembélé for the head of the Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.